Good morning. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to today's Total Body Strength class. Jazzy, health fitness specialist with Excel Autodesk, and we're in for a good workout today. So today we are going to be doing 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest for each movement. We are doing 4 exercises today, 4 rounds, and the basis of today is going to be nice and slow eccentric portion of the movement. So the eccentric portion is either like the lowering portion or and more in terms of the lengthening portion of the movement. So I'll definitely be explaining that as we go through. But you are going to need a set of dumbbells. I do recommend more of the lighter end of dumbbells just because we are going to be doing 4-second eccentric. So I'll go ahead and get started showing y'all what we're going to be doing today. And with our first movement here, we're going to be doing overhead presses with, again, 4-second eccentrics. We're going to have our dumbbells way too close to the wall there. There we go. Okay. So we have our dumbbells at our shoulders, just doing overhead presses here. So we're pressing up and then we're lowering 1, 2, 3, 4. We're right back up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So going nice and slow on the lowering portion of our overhead presses. And then we're going to go ahead and do a goblet squat. So we're going to need 1 dumbbell for that. Holding the goblet squat right under our chin. So our palms are going to be up. Dumbbell is going to be towards the chest. So as we're here, again, 4 seconds on the eccentric. So feet are shoulder width apart or hip width here. And we're lowering nice and slow towards the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, right back up. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, nice and slow on the down portion, the eccentric, exploding up. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and do bent over rows here. So we're going to need our other dumbbell again. And very similar to an RDL, we're going to have a slight bend in our knee, pushing our hips back towards the wall behind us. And this one, we're going to bring the weights up towards our belly button here, and then lower 1, 2, 3, 4. So squeezing through the armpits, exploding up, lowering down nice and slow. So that's the third movement today. And then finally here, we're going to do some Romanian deadlifts or RDLs. Feet hip width apart. We're going to push those hips back like we're closing the door with our butt. In the lowering portion again, so 4 seconds down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once our hips stop moving back, the movement is done, and then we're going to explode right back up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right back up. So those are going to be our 4 movements today. Pretty simple in terms of movements, but since we're going nice and slow in the eccentric, we're not going to be doing that many reps here. We're focusing on lowering the weight nice and slow. So doing that will give us just a little bit of a different engagement out of our muscles. And by slowly controlling the eccentric, we can really engage more muscle fibers versus just going through at a faster tempo. So yep, those are our 4 movements. We're going to go through that 4 times. We can go ahead and get started with our warm-up. We're going to go ahead and make our way onto the ground into a plank position here. We're going to get our arms nice and warmed up. So hands under the shoulders, on our hands and toes, and we're going to do some plank to pike here. So we're going to exhale, push our hips up towards the ceiling, getting to that nice down dog position. So we can even press those heels, alternating into the ground, really getting our head in between our shoulders, stretching out our back, and back to plank. We're going to do that 2 more times. So exhaling, pushing up, really getting a nice stretch through the back here, and back down. And last one here, pushing up, getting a nice stretch in, and back down. And then we can go ahead and bring those knees to the ground. We're going to stay in this position here on our hands and our knees. We're going to do some rotation here, getting our back warmed up. So I'm going to take my right hand here, reaching in between my left arm, my left leg, reaching as far as we can, inhaling to prepare. On the exhale, bringing that hand towards the ceiling, gazing past our thumb. We're going to do that 2 more times. So inhaling, reaching through, trying to reach a little further each time. Exhaling to the ceiling. And 1 more here, reaching through. And exhaling towards the ceiling. And back down. And we're gonna do that same thing on the other side here. So reaching through, left arm between the right arm and the right knee. Exhaling towards the ceiling, rotating through that neck, getting some spine rotation through this neck here. Reaching through, inhaling, exhaling towards the ceiling. Awesome, great job, everyone. Last one here, reaching through and exhaling towards the ceiling. And then we can place that hand back on the ground. And we're gonna do one more warm-up movement here so we can make our way onto our feet. We're gonna do some frog squats. We're gonna have our elbows on the insides of our knees. So just like this, so our hips are up, bringing them down as far as we can, as low into the squat, and then bring them halfway up and back down. So we're getting a nice hip stretch here, really opening everything up. Going down as low as we can, keeping those heels on the ground. Great job, everyone. I know it can be a little bit uncomfortable. And last one here, really stretching through the hips. And we can go ahead on this next one, stand all the way back up. Oh, my legs are tired. Okay, we can't stand all the way up yet. Okay. Now it should be nice and warmed up. We can go ahead and get started. So again, we are doing 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest or transition time, however you would like to use your time. Feel free. You can get water, you can walk around, whatever you need to do to get ready for the next movement. Okay, that was a lot of words all at once. Okay, getting the timer started here. We're starting up with our overhead presses, nice and slow on the way down. All right, 3, 2, 1, and go. So we got our dumbbells here at our shoulders, going up and lowering 1, 2, 3, 4, power back up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice job, everyone. We really want to control the lowering portion. Like I said, that's going to help us engage and recruit a little bit of extra fibers. And by having that eccentric strength, we're just strengthening our muscles in a different fashion. All right, let's do one more in here. 3, 2, 1. All right, next up, we have our goblet squats. So again, holding that dumbbell right underneath the chin. I don't know if you guys can see all that. And we're going to lower ourselves for 4 seconds. So slow down, explode up. 3, 2, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right back up. So letting those knees track over our second toe. We're keeping our pelvis tucked. Our chest is open and we're squeezing through the armpits to have our upper back be nice and flat here. Great job. Keep pushing the ground away from us. Exhaling as we come up to help be explosive. Great job. Try and get 1 to 2 more here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we are resting. Up next, we have bent over rows. So we're going to need that other dumbbell back. And we're just going to hinge at our hips, pushing our butt towards the wall behind us. And we're bringing the dumbbells towards the butt here. 3, 2, 1. So we're starting with our arms straight out in front, palms face each other, squeeze through the armpits. 1, 2, 3, 4. So exploding up. We're exhaling as we roll the weight towards our torso here. Slowly lowering. So count to 4 nice and slow. We're not doing 1, 2, 3, 4. We're doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Great job, y'all. Try and get a few more in here. At least one more now. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have Romanian deadlifts or RDLs. Same thing. So the eccentric portion of the RDL is going to be coming down towards the ground. So that's going to be 4 seconds, exploding up. All right. Getting ready here in 3, 2, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, exploding back up. So we have a slight bend in the knee pretending like we're closing the door behind us with our butt. We really want to emphasize the hips moving back and pushing through our whole foot. And keeping our chin tucked. We don't want to be looking up or to the side. Want a nice flat back from head to our hips. 3, 2, 1. All right, round 1 is done. We got 3 more to go. And we're gonna start off again with those overhead presses. Nice and slow, lowering them back down to our shoulders. 3, 2, 1. So pushing up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome job, y'all. Really making sure our core is tight, our back is flat. If you notice at the side, when I'm up above head, if you're starting to feel your back arch as you get those weights up, we need to grab a lighter set of dumbbells, especially as we are slowly lowering them towards our shoulders. Try and get one more here. 3, 2, 1. All right, up next we have the goblet squat. So we only need 1 dumbbell for this. Holding it right under our chin. Nice and slow down, exploding up. 3, 2, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right back up. So making sure our hips are initiating the movement. Our knees are tracking right over our second toe, going as low as we can while keeping our form 100%. Focusing on intent. I say this every class. But what muscles are we trying to work here, right? Quads, glutes are going to be the main focus here. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now we have our bent over rows. We're going to need our other dumbbell here. We're pulling them, the dumbbells. We want it to be like the opposite of a push-up is how our arms are going to be going. 3, 2, 1. So push those hips back, palms face each other, straight up and lowering nice and slow. So squeezing through the armpits as we explode up. Hands are staying on the outside of our legs. Great job, everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and slow. Squeezing through our armpits. Great job. Try and get 2 more in here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, last thing, we have RDLs. And then we're halfway done. We got 2 more rounds to go after this. And then we'll cool down. And then we will get on with the rest of our day. All right, 3, 2, 1. Push those hips back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Floating up. Making sure that when we do come up, we're keeping our hips under the shoulders. We don't want to push those hips forward. It's going to put pressure on our backs. So standing up nice and tall. Great job, y'all. Keep pushing. We want to feel this in our hamstrings and in our glutes when we're coming back up. 3, 2, 1. All right. We got 2 more rounds to go. We got overhead presses coming up next. And then we got 2 more rounds. So we're halfway there. 3, 2, 1. So dumbbells at the shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right back up. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not pausing at the top. We're not pausing at the bottom. We're just taking 4 seconds to come back down, keeping those elbows slightly in. So if you see from this angle, my elbows are staying inside of my shoulders. My elbows are not directly out to the side, they're slightly in front. That's going to protect our shoulder joints. 3, 2, 1. All right, next up, we got the goblet squat. So dumbbell's going to be right under the chin. Great job, y'all. All right, 3, 2, 1. Goblet squats, dumbbell under the chin. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right back up, keeping that chest nice and tall. Pushing the ground away from us, exploding up. Lots of quad work between these. And I feel like I'm still feeling the squat pulses from boot camp yesterday for those of you who were there. Awesome job, y'all. 3, 2, 1. All right, we have bent over rows coming up next. I will say, hopefully our quads are not too sore, because we are going to be doing some squats and exercise at exos later. 3, 2, 1. We're doing our bent over rows. So bring those dumbbells towards the butt here, lowering nice and slow. Slight bend in the knees. Lowering nice and slow here. Just really slowing down this movement is really going to help us gain a little bit extra strength. Rows and RDLs too, but rows are great for posture and helping us strengthen our low back as well as our glutes and hamstrings. 3, 2, 1. All right, we got RDLs next, and then we got one more round. But RDLs too, if you have any low back pain, strengthening the glutes and the hamstrings is really going to help take that tension off of the low back. So this is why this is great for that. 3, 2, 1, RDLs. So RDLs and bent over rows are going to be great movements for low back pain if you were doing this correctly. So if we're doing it correctly, we're really pushing those hips back, keeping the dumbbells sliding across our legs the whole time. So the more out in front our dumbbells are, so if our dumbbells are out here, if you see, I'm not getting my hips back, that's all lower back. So we're really keeping the dumbbells touching our legs the whole time here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last round coming up. We got overhead presses. 4 seconds down. All right. Getting ready here. 3, 2, 1. Straight up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right back up. We're not pausing at the top. We're not pausing at the bottom. Nice flow through these two. Gosh, these are not two movements. There's one movement. Apparently I need to wake up a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Y'all are doing awesome. Really working those shoulders for the final few seconds here. Try and get 2 more in. 3, 2, 1. Okay, up next we have goblet squats. We just need that one dumbbell. Holding the dumbbell under the chin, nice and slow. All right, y'all. 3, 2, 1. We're lowering nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right back up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Letting those knees, the inside of our knee is going to be directly over our second toe. Making sure our core is tight, leading with the hips, squeezing through those shoulders. Awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 1. All right, done with squats. We got 2 more movements here. So we got our bent over rows, and then we got our RDLs. Then we're going to cool down a little bit. All right, 3, 2, 1. Hips back, palms facing each other, lowering nice and slow. Keeping our back nice and flat, so squeezing through the armpits here, pulling those shoulder blades towards our butt, pushing our hips back so that we don't feel this in our low back today. Awesome. Try and get at least 2 more in here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Y'all are doing so good today. Last movement here, we have the RDLs. Nice and slow moving here. 3, 2, 1. So pushing those hips back, nice and slow. Coming right back up. Great job, everyone. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, last one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are done with the workout for the day. Nice job, everyone. Go ahead and get a sip of water if you need it. We're going to make our way to the ground for our cool down. So we're going to start off here in a half kneeling position. Down a little bit more. So we're going to be half kneeling. So I'm going to have my right knee on the ground, left foot on the ground. If you need to grab a pillow or fold up your yoga mat, anything like that to help your knee be more comfortable, feel free to do so. Can't talk, I guess. We're going to stretch out our hip flexor and then our hamstring a little bit. So we did lots of squats, lots of RDL. So we're going to tuck our pelvis, squeeze the glute of the knee that's on the ground, get our balance right. We're going to push those hips forward as we're squeezing our glute, lifting the same arm of the knee that's on the ground overhead, breathing nice and deep into the belly, feeling that front of the hip open up. And on our next exhale, let's go ahead and push those hips back, toe to the ceiling, bring our chest towards our knee for that hamstring stretch. Really, the more we push our hips back, just like our RDLs, and keep our back flat, it's going to give us a little bit more of a hamstring stretch here. So on our next exhale here, we're going to rock back into our hip flexor stretch. So squeeze that glute, push our hips forward, reaching that arm overhead. Nice big deep inhales into the belly. And on the next exhale, rocking our hips back, toes to the ceiling, keeping our back nice and flat, getting a nice stretch all the way through the hamstring and into that calf a little bit as well, which is always nice and helpful. All right, on the next exhale, we can go ahead and come out of that and we're going to switch onto the other knee. So now my left knee is on the ground, my right foot is on the ground. We're going to do the same thing here. So you're going to squeeze that glute of the knee that's on the ground, tuck the pelvis, push the hips forward, raising that arm overhead. So our left knee is on the ground, left arm is overhead. We're squeezing that glute as hard as we can, breathing into the belly, feeling that front of our hip expand. And on the next exhale, rocking back into that hamstring stretch. So pushing those hips back, keeping the back flat. Toes to the ceiling. And on the next exhale, we're going to go ahead and come back to the hip flexor stretch. So tuck that pelvis, squeeze the glute, bring those hips forward. Breathe into the belly, feeling that opening up the front of our hip here. And next exhale, rocking back, toes to the ceiling, getting that nice stretch through the back of the hip. And on the next exhale, we can go ahead and release and come out of that, and we can make our way onto our hands and our knees. So similar to what we did for our warm-up, we're going to reach through in between our arm and our leg, but instead of just reaching, we're going to put our hand on the ground. So right arm is going to reach through in between the left arm and the left leg, head on the ground, push the back of your hand into the ground, pull away with your upper back. So it's going to give us a nice stretch through the back. We did a lot of back work today. Nice big inhales into the chest. And if you'd like to add a little bit of a chest or shoulder stretch here, go ahead and take that left arm, wrap it around your body, tucking it into our right hip. Getting that shoulder pointing towards the ceiling, we can get a nice chest stretch there as we're stretching out right behind our shoulder blades. And let's do one more deep breath here. And on the exhale, we can bring both our hands back to the ground here. We're gonna do that same thing on the other side. So now my left hand is gonna reach through in between my right arm, my right leg, push the back of the hand into the ground, pull away with the upper back, getting a nice stretch right underneath the shoulder blades here. Breathing nice and deep into the chest. And again, if you'd like to, go ahead and take that right arm now, wrap it all the way around our body, tucking it into our left hip, shoulder towards the ceiling, getting a nice stretch through our chest while we're still feeling that stretch through the back of the shoulder blade of the left arm. And let's do one more big inhale here. And on the exhale, we can return our hands back under our shoulders. You can stay there, or you can come to seated, kneeling, or standing, but that is going to be all the time I have for y'all this morning. So thank you all so much for joining me. Y'all did great. It's a good workout, good way to work our muscles a little bit differently. We do have 2 stretch breaks today, one at 11 and one at 2:30. Plot twist, those are with me today because 7 for Louise for those. And then later on tonight at 4:30, we have abs and core mobility with Brittany. At 12 o'clock, we have exercise with me. So it's a lot of me today. It's going to be a great time. And then we do have dance class at 12:30 with John. So if you want to get your dance on then, definitely join. It's a fun class. We do also have our summer shred step challenge is open for registration. So you can find that registration form up on our SharePoint site. Just type in Exercise at Autodesk and Autodesk One. We have some fun prizes coming up for that. It's going to be a good time. So don't miss out. It starts on July 12th. So you can register throughout the challenge, but definitely recommend registering now so you can win some fun prizes. But thank you all so much for joining me. Great job. And I'll